Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're going to take some dry code properties and, well, turn them into pure UI magic. You know that feeling when you're building apps and you just feel totally boxed in by standard out-of-the-box UI components? Yeah, we've all been there. So we're diving into the B4XDaisy Checkbox Group component. We'll unpack exactly how this thing literally takes all that repetitive heavy lifting right out of interface design, giving you these beautiful, highly customizable checkbox lists with honestly just a few clicks and a couple lines of code.
So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the Daisy Checkbox Group, look at visual layout and alignment, dive into sizing and scaling options, then styling with custom colors. After that, we'll hit the Item Selection API, and finally, wrap up with handling checkbox events.
All right, Section 1, Meet Daisy Checkbox Group. Time to say goodbye to rigid UI.
Look, usually dealing with native checkboxes means you're building custom layouts, right? You're spending hours nesting panels just to get a basic grouped list. It's a classic development headache. But notice how this component natively groups items, like apples, oranges, and bananas, under a clean legend property naturally. It just happens. You get this fantastic field set box, the legend breaks the borderline perfectly, and the best part, it's all handled by a single view. No nesting nightmares.
Think of the designer properties in our IDE as your ultimate control board. I mean, it gives you absolute aesthetic authority, instantly. Instead of writing all this boilerplate code just to manage borders, padding, or corner radiuses, you're simply adjusting properties straight in the designer. Properties like variant, border style, and rounded let you switch from a harsh, blocky square box to a softly rounded, ghost-bordered container in literally seconds.
Moving right along to Section 2, Visual Layout and Alignment. The alignment property contrast is just brilliantly simple. You've got the standard start configuration, checkbox on the left, text on the right, standard stuff. But compare that with the end alignment. It pushes the checkboxes cleanly to the right edge, leaving the labels sitting flush on the left. This is a massively popular UI pattern, especially on mobile settings menus, right? And here, you pull it off by tweaking a single dropdown in the designer. It's really that easy.
Section 3. Sizing and Scaling Options. Keeping things perfectly proportional.
Notice how the legend size elegantly couples with the checkbox size. This component maintains perfect visual balance all the way from extra small to large. So if you crank up the checkbox size, you don't have to go back and manually tweak your font sizes or mess with the padding. The component's internal logic just calculates the appropriate text size token automatically. It's a huge time saver.
So the key takeaway here is that you can use these exact 5-string tokens, XS, SM, MD, LG, and XL to effortlessly scale your UI elements. Whether you're dropping an XS into a super compact data entry form or XL for a big touch-friendly kiosk interface, it's the exact same component. You just pop in the correct token and you're good to go.
Okay, Section 4, Styling with Custom Colors, Complete Customization.
You can easily override those default theme tokens with your own hex values. This gives you incredibly granular control over backgrounds, borders, and the checkboxes themselves. By default, if you pass a 0, it tells the component to just inherit your app's global theme. But say you want an inset green background for a privacy policy acceptance box. You just pass custom colors directly to the background color, text color, or border color properties. Boom, done.
Section 5, the Item Selection API. Let's make it functional.
Now, this simple 3-step lifecycle shows just how actionable the backend API really is. First, you use add item to populate your list, passing a unique ID and the display text. Second, use checkSet to programmatically set the initial state, which is super handy if you're loading up saved user preferences, right? And third, when the user finishes, a quick call to get selected IDs gives you exactly what you need. It's just so streamlined. Add options, set states programmatically, grab user input, all without parsing through complex view hierarchies.
And for dynamic apps, the API gives you robust methods to instantly clear or swap out entire data sets. Like, imagine your checkboxes depend on a previous selection, say choosing a country, which then has to immediately update a list of regions. You can easily call clear items or toss in a totally new list using set items with a map or a delimited string. It is completely built to handle data that changes on the fly.
Finally, Section 6, Handling Checkbox Events. Listening to Interaction. All right, it's really important to distinguish between these two core events. ItemChanged gives you granular tracking for individual toggles. It hands you a map with the specific ID, the text, and whether it was just checked or unchecked. Perfect if you need an immediate action based on one single choice.
On the flip side, SelectionChanged hands you the complete batch of currently selected IDs as a single list. That's ideal if you just want to update a data model with the current total state every single time a change happens.
By bridging the gap between flexible visual design and a highly logical backend API, the B4XDaisy Checkbox Group basically removes all the friction from building forms and setting screens. So, I'll leave you with this exciting challenge to ponder as you open your B4X IDE. How are you going to apply these visually dynamic, highly functional techniques to save time and elevate your next project? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy coding!